Over 100 Cuban medical doctors and nurses are expected here to shore up St. Lucia's public health response to the spread of COVID-19. Prime Minister Alan Shastny made the disclosure during an address to the nation Monday night. He revealed that the move was born out of talks between the relevant authorities of the two nations. Shastny also heaped praise on the government of the Cayman Islands, which is also providing support.
I'm very pleased to announce tonight that the Minister of Health and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, along with the Cuban ambassador here, have been able to facilitate getting over 100 Cuban doctors and nurses to be able to come to St. Lucia. I also want to give a special thanks to the government of Cayman, who have generously offered to use one of their planes to fly the Cuban doctors and nurses from Cuba directly to St. Lucia. And in particular, I really want to say thank you to the Minister of Tourism, and given his specific relationship with the Minister of Tourism in Cayman, and certainly some of the things that we had been working with Cayman previously, that they were able to make this generous. This is a very generous offer.
The government has fast-tracked the move to the Owen King European Union Hospital in the wake of the global pandemic of the infectious disease. The Victoria Hospital, the mainstay of primary health care in St. Lucia for many years, will be repurposed as the dedicated hospital for severe respiratory cases related to the treatment of COVID-19 in St. Lucia.
And so we're hoping that before the end of this week, that flight will take place and those doctors and nurses will be arriving into St. Lucia. We've already arranged accommodations for them. And while they will be working both at the OKEU and also Victoria, but they're certainly going to be coming in to help us get the respiratory hospital up and running as quickly as possible.
The Prime Minister says the addition of the Cuban medical professionals will provide relief for local practitioners, but also prepare St. Lucia for community outbreak. Shastny also announced the painful decision of halting all inbound commercial passenger flights to St. Lucia due to limited quarantine capacity and the threat posed by travelers, including St. Lucians from territories adversely affected by the pandemic.
Planes that are coming in to extract persons from St. Lucia are allowed to continue to operate. What we have stopped is no person is allowed to come into St. Lucia.
And that includes students who are St. Lucian students who are stranded in these countries.
Sadly,
throughout the region?
Sadly, yes. And that's been one of the more difficult decisions I've had to make as a Prime Minister and certainly as a cabinet, because we know how important. I'm a father. You know, not to have my child here, or if my wife happened to be out, and if somebody was out on medical reasons. But unfortunately, we've had to make that very difficult decision because everybody coming back into St. Lucia now would be under quarantine. And because of our experience of voluntary quarantine, and given that they would be coming from locations of higher risk, they now have to be under supervision.
Following a frenetic weekend characterized by quarantine escapes and anxiety over unauthorized maritime border crossings, the Prime Minister beseeched the public to cooperate with the authorities as they grapple with one of the most menacing black swan events in recent history.